These are the PS4 and PS5 games to look for in 2024 and beyond. So this year has come to a close with one of the best game lineups we have seen in a while, but now it's time to look into what 2024 brings. From the games that will grace every platform to the ones only available on PlayStation, the big AAA games or the small indie delights, the ones with firm release dates or those still shrouded in mystery, and even some we might get disappointed are skipping 2024. I'm focusing only on games, so expect no DLCs or expansions such as Elden Ring Shadow of the Earth Tree, Final Fantasy XVI The Rising Tide, or Destiny 2 The Final Shape. This video is split into 5 sections covering what's being released each quarter and what doesn't have a date, so you can jump ahead with the chapters in the description. Let's get to it. Starting with a Q1 full of heavy hitters from 2D Metroidvanias to adventure games, RPGs, and everything in between. First, we have Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. The game was a surprise reveal at the Summer Game Fest this year, despite the trailer not being well received, and brings the series back to its 2D platforming roots while modernizing gameplay. Then we have The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, a game that divided the community in half due to its story events, and now because it may not be a necessary remaster. Regardless, it brings back Ellie in a quest for vengeance, plus adds extras like the Lost Levels, the No Return roguelike mode, and guitar free play, among others. January 26 brings 2 big games. Sega and RGG Studio launched the newest entry to the Like a Dragon series in Infinite Wealth, co-starring Kazuma Kiryu and Ichiban Kasuga in a crazy new adventure in Japan and the island of Hawaii. Besides that, the King of the Iron Fist returns in Tekken 8, continuing the tragic saga of the Mishima bloodline with 32 fighters, a new hit system, and a variety of single-player content like a new arcade quest mode. Moving to February, we have a remake of Persona 3 Reload, bringing the beloved RPG classic to the modern era with new graphics, quality of life features, new gameplay systems, and a stylish UI. On that same day, we also have the first main Rocksteady game in almost a decade, as Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League finally launches after a rocky showing last year. We'll see if this team of misfits saves the world or dies trying. Back to another PlayStation exclusive, there's Helldivers 2, which has you fighting for freedom, peace and democracy with up to 3 friends on PS5 and PC. It's a significant departure from the original, as Arrowhead Studios changed the isometric view for full third-person shooter mechanics. After that, we have indie game Ultros, a psychedelic Metroidvania with a roguelike loop, where you are stranded on a ship called the Sarcophagus, which holds a demonic being called Ultros. It's being made by Niklas Ackerblad, who did art and music for Hotline Miami. Crystal Dynamics is bringing back the classic Tomb Raider trilogy remastered to modern platforms for the first time, with every expansion released and secret levels. Next is Pacific Drive, the first-person survival roguelike where your car is your only companion as you investigate a dangerous zone in the Pacific Northwest, gather resources, improve your car, and keep going to unravel the mystery. Announced at the Game Awards, Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons is getting a remake. That's the first game from Joseph Fares before he went on to make A Way Out and It Takes Two in his own studio. You control 2 brothers as they embark on an epic fairy tale journey. End of February, and the long-awaited sequel for Final Fantasy VII Remake is here, only for PS5. FF7 Rebirth will follow Cloud and his friends as they go through an expansive world with an evolved battle system and improved side content, unfolding the original story up until the Forgotten Capital. Moving into March, we have The Outlast Trials finally leaving early access and coming to consoles. Unlike the original games, you can share the horrors of this one with friends as you try to survive human experiments during the Cold War. Pieces Interactive is reviving the Alone in the Dark series, now starring David Harbour and Jodie Comer as Edward Carnby and Emily Harwood in this reimagination of the classic survival horror game. The end of March has another clash of 2 big titles. First off, Capcom brings Dragon's Dogma 2, the epic sequel to their single-player open-world RPG born during the PS3 era. As the reason, you control your own experience from location, party, and how your journey will unfold. Then on the same day, Rise of the Ronin comes out exclusively for PS5, a tale of a Ronin navigating 1863 Japan during the Bakumatsu period after the clash between East and West. Team Ninja flexes their muscle to bring an open world with a more realistic approach in comparison to their previous Neo or Wolong Fallen Dynasty. Let's go with more game highlights being released in Q1, so keep watching for the full list or jump ahead for a preview of what games will release in Q2. Q2 there's not much set in stone so far, but there are a few indies and a fighter that may be returning. Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes is the follow-up to 2022's Ryzen, the classic-style RPG game from Suikoden's creator Yoshitaka Murayama, and this one promises over 100 playable characters to lead through a war-torn world. Tales of Kansera was announced at the Game Awards, and is a Metroidvania-style game being made by Surgeon Studios, a new team founded by Abubakar Salim who voiced Bayek in Assassin's Creed Origins. Puzzle platformer classic Braid is coming back with a new anniversary edition featuring hand-repainted graphics, filled with reimagined sound, and developer commentary. After that and Into the Unknown, Planet of Lana makes its PlayStation debut after launching on Xbox Game Pass. It follows a young girl and her loyal friend on a rescue mission through a colorful world of cold machines and unfamiliar creatures. Multiversus was shut down last June with the promise of a revival in early 2024. The fighting game was recently teased at some McDonald's restaurants in Belgium, but nothing official has been said by the studio or WB Games. From British developer The Chinese Room, creators of Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, comes Still Wakes the Deep, an immersive disaster story that has you navigating a collapsing oil rig to save your crew from otherworldly horrors. Here are other important games coming in Q2, so continue watching or skip into Q3. There are even fewer games confirmed for the second half of 2024, but we have 4 game highlights targeting Q3, as the calendar will likely be filled up during the first half of the year and with Summer Game Fest. One of them is Black Myth Wukong, whose release date was confirmed at the Game Awards. The action RPG Souls-like is rooted in Chinese mythology, following a journey to the west as you take control of the Destined One, looking to uncover the truth of a glorious legend from the past. Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2 had a lengthy delay after being scheduled to launch by the end of 2023 to almost a year later. The Space Marine warriors are the only hope when the galaxy is in peril and entire worlds are falling. From Nexon we have The First Ascendant, a third-person looter shooter made with Unreal Engine 5 that had an open beta this year. You can play either solo or up to 4 players as you fight for the survival of humanity. Lastly, Metaphor marks Atlus's first ever full-scale fantasy RPG, where an anguished kingdom stands on a precipice and you must overcome obstacles while forging bonds with friends as you fight for the throne and the future. Now, taking a look into Q4, there's only one highlight with Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, a title now under the helm of the Chinese Room as they bring an action RPG where you fight through open world as an elder vampire. There are a lot of games that don't have release dates and some that may not make it next year, but let's take a look at more important games of 2024 and beyond. With Insomniac being the PlayStation Studios MVP of the PS5 generation, launching 4 games in 3 years, there was some hope for Wolverine to make it late 2024, but the recent hack to the studio revealed the game is at least 3 years away, targeting a 2026 launch. Bungie had a rocky 2023 with internal issues at the studio resulting in layoffs and internal changes to their upcoming Destiny 2 expansion. It may have also pushed back Marathon, their newest extraction shooter, into 2025. They have publicly announced the former but not the latter. Little Devil Inside was revealed in June 2020 for PS5, and that's following a Kickstarter campaign in May 2015 as it was planned for PS4, Xbox One and Wii U. It reappeared at the October 2021 State of Play with a 2022 release window, only to go missing in action and developer NeoStream be radio silent. Who knows if this will be the year. Ubisoft is getting its share of Star Wars with Outlaws, a new open world game set between the events of The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi coming from the Division studio Ubisoft Massive. They only gave it a 2024 launch window, but there have been rumors the French company delayed a big game into the next fiscal year, so it may or may not make it. Telltale Games revived in late 2018 after a series of bad decisions led to its closure, and after that one of its first announcements at the Game Awards 2019 was The Wolf Among Us 2. It has since been delayed out of 2023, it doesn't have a confirmed 2024 either. The Plucky Squire took everyone by surprise at the Devolver Digital Summer Game Fest showcase in 2022 for its art style and the link between world mechanics. It was supposed to launch this year, but Devolver announced the game was moving into 2024 as part of their delayed showcase in August. Sword of the Sea is the next game from Giant Squid, ex-That Game Company devs who worked on Journey and Flower, and later Apsu and The Pathless. The game was announced at the PlayStation Showcase as an atmospheric adventure with high-speed movement inspired by skateboarding games, but it has no release window. Dutch indie developer Ewout van der Werf is making Skim, a 3D platformer that has you jumping from shadow to shadow in a challenging and lively environment. It will launch for PS5 and PC likely in 2024, but it's not confirmed. Phantom Blade Zero was one of the stars of a tepid PlayStation showcase this year. The hack-and-slash action game is set in an open world based on feudal China as you take control of a Dark Rider exiled by the Order on a path of vengeance with an expiration date of 66 days. It's getting a 2D prologue with executioners, but unknown if the main game will launch in 2024 as the announcement trailer had no release window. From developer Shift Up comes Stellar Blade, a third-person action-adventure very similar in look to Bayonetta where you play as Eve, a paratrooper who arrives on an abandoned Earth with the mission to save humankind by reclaiming it from malevolent forces. It was supposed to launch in 2023, but now SIG is fully publishing it as a PS5 exclusive, so it will sure come out in 2024. Speaking of SIG, they have this fever with live service games, and despite this year's cancellation of one as important as The Last of Us Online, they are aiming to deliver a new PvP multiplayer from Fireworks Studios, a team they acquired in April this year from parent company Probably Monsters. Concord was revealed at this year's showcase with a 2024 release window for PS5 and PC, but the trailer told us very little other than it being a space adventure. Another SIE live service project is Fair Games, the competitive heist multiplayer game coming from Jade Raymond's Haven studio, but it was announced with no release window. The studio was founded in 2021 and acquired by Sony this past July. They have been working on it for a couple of years, so it likely won't be 2024, but an already announced closed beta may be. One of the most well-regarded Metroidvania games is Team Cherry's Hollow Knight, but its sequel has been making people wait for a long time ever since being announced in February 2019. It was confirmed for PlayStation in September last year after appearing at the Xbox Showcase in June, promising a release within the next 12 months. So by June 2023 it should have been released, except that it wasn't. And we still don't know when, if in 2024 it will launch. Konami and Bloober Team have been dead silent, no pun intended, on Silent Hill 2 after the game was revealed in the Silent Hill Showcase in October 2022. Recently Bloober Team asked fans for patience as they continue working on it, but it's Konami who is tasked with the marketing bits of showing the game. A new leak from Amazon pointed to February 2024, but nothing official yet. Hideo Kojima revealed Death Stranding 2 at last year's Game Awards with no release window. Nothing else has been shown since then, with the creator focusing this year on the Xbox project OD. Some initial rumors placed it in 2024 alongside Rise of the Ronin, but the most recent ones indicate it may have been delayed internally to 2025. Metal Gear Solid Delta, the remake of Kojima's standout MGS3, was revealed at the PlayStation Showcase this year and followed with a first engine look at an Xbox event in October. There's no release window attached, but it's been rumored to have been in development for 3 years, with the game's environments almost fully done, which we could see at the gameplay reveal. We should expect a release date announcement soon, but it's anyone's guess if it will sneak into 2024. There are more game highlights with tentative launches in 2024 and beyond, so keep watching for the full list. And there you have it, those are the PlayStation game release highlights for 2024 and beyond. Which games are you most excited for in the next year or the future? Is there a game I didn't list here? Let us know in the comments below or vote on the poll in the community tab. Like or dislike to share your feedback, check out other videos you may enjoy while you're here, and consider subscribing for more on PlayStation. Thank you so much for watching and for your amazing support this year. My name is Joseph, hoping you have an outstanding 2024 ahead. This is Hype for Games, and let's get hype!